Here on the stop of the Olmsted Design Landscapes of Holyoke, Massachusetts, and this happens to be the James Wakelin house in front of us. James Wakelin was a merchandise salesperson. He developed his own store called the Wakelin store. It was a department store. It's still there in downtown Holyoke. It's where the Holyoke downtown campus of the Holyoke Medical Center is. And this is where he lived. He was also an organist for the First Congregational Church. He went to Boston Conservatory of Music, now called the New England Conservatory of Music, for 5 years. And he got a bachelor's degree in music, specialty, and organ. He was a great organ player. Of course, he had to make his money, and he made it through that merchandise sales. And in this house, you can see there's a landscape in front of it. In 1930, he sold off the property immediately to the south, so we slide the camera over to the left, and you can see a house behind his or to the side. They're on their same private driveway, and so they have to share plowing duties. Now, the house is 1930 design. It was the home of William Angers, a lumber dealer from Springfield, Massachusetts. Notice how the landscape is exactly the same. That's because the Olmsted brothers came in about 1926 and they made this landscape for James Wakelin on both of his properties here, and it retains that look. Now notice in between them there's steps in front of those bushes, and we think those steps, which repeat themselves on the other side of Anger's house, we think those steps are the steps to the original Mount Tom Golf Country Club, or clubhouse, that was up here. It was built in place in 1901. They moved it about 1911 up to the circle that's higher up, and that stayed there to 1956. And we think that it was right in this position here, in these walkways going upwards were there. And of course, it was taken out, and the home, both homes were put in their place, so it was sold out. You can see it's a nice landscape. It's very well taken care of. Now, if you look at the fence, the wall is gorgeous. You remember, it's an Olmsted design wall. And if you look its entire length, which is over 2 properties now, it's a very beautiful wall. And it's 100 years old, and yet you can see no deflection to the sides. It doesn't lean like a lot of old walls, especially seeing that this property is on a hill. You would think that water through solid fluxion would push against the wall, but it doesn't, because the drainage system is so well. And every Olmsted design landscape I've seen in Holyoke, the walls that are around them are in great shape, even 100 years later. Every wall that I've seen not put in by the Olmsted brothers is starting to fall over, and I think that anyone who can afford the Olmsted brothers to come here and design the landscape could afford the best contractors to get the best work done, including the best drainage systems. And I think there's an excellent drainage system under this property and all the properties that the Olmsteds did around Holyoke. So this is a gorgeous one. It's at the corner of Northampton Street and Mountain View Drive. Thank you for coming on the stop.